Pope Francis, aged 88, has been receiving treatment for pneumonia at Rome's Gemelli Hospital since February 14th.
Recent news from Vatican City has left the entire world in total shock. This time, it's not about the usual announcements or ceremonies. It's something far more troubling. According to reports, the Vatican is in tears, and the cause is none other than Pope Francis.
The Vatican says Pope Francis had another night of rest, receiving oxygen.
His health has been a topic of concern for long, but the latest developments have taken everyone by surprise. What is really happening? Why has the Vatican's heartbroken response made headlines? Join us as we uncover the shocking reasons why the Vatican is in tears and what this means for Pope Francis's future.
Friday night, supporters of Pope Francis marched through downtown Buenos Aires, holding candles to pray for the ailing pontiff's recovery.
How Pope Francis's health issue started. Pope Francis's health challenges didn't just start recently. In fact, from his younger years to his time as the head of the Catholic Church, his health has been tested many times. Some problems started when he was young, while others appeared as he got older. Still, he has remained dedicated to his work, often pushing through pain and discomfort to fulfill his duties. His ability to keep going despite these struggles has shown his strong will and commitment. But not many are aware of the full history of his health. Want to know how it all began? Stay tuned as we reveal the shocking details. When the Pope was just 21 years old, he suffered from a serious lung infection that could have taken his life. Doctors had to remove part of his right lung.
Pope Francis has long struggled with respiratory issues and had part of his lungs removed
To save him. The surgery was successful, but it left him with long-term effects. Even though he continued living an active life, his breathing was never the same. Over time, this past lung surgery made him more vulnerable to respiratory illnesses, which would cause problems later in his life. As the years passed, another health issue troubled him: sciatica. This condition, which affects the sciatic nerve, caused him severe pain in his lower back, spreading down to his legs. Some days the pain was so bad that he could barely walk. It forced him to change his movements and, at times, even cancel planned events. Despite various treatments, including physical therapy and medication, the pain never fully went away. It remained a problem that would flare up from time to time, making simple tasks more difficult for him. Along with sciatica, knee pain became another serious issue.
Pope Francis's continued knee problems led him to make the painful decision not to travel to Africa in early July.
Over time, the pain in his knee worsened, making walking extremely difficult. By 2022, his knee problems had gotten so severe that he had to start using a wheelchair, a cane, or a walker to move around. People often saw him being pushed in a wheelchair during public events, raising concerns about his health. Even so, he continued working, often making light-hearted jokes about his condition to put others at ease. However, his health challenges were not limited to his bones and joints. In July 2021, he had to undergo major colon surgery. He had a condition called diverticulitis, which causes inflammation and infection in the intestines. The surgery lasted 3 hours and involved removing part of his colon. The operation was successful, but the recovery was tough. He had to spend 10 days in the hospital before he could go home. Even after being discharged, he admitted that healing was slow and required him to adjust his routine. Though he eventually recovered, the surgery left him weaker for some time. Not long after that, another health issue arose. In March 2023, Pope Francis was hospitalized again due to a respiratory infection. At first, doctors were not sure how serious it was, but tests later showed that he had bronchitis. This was especially concerning because of his history of lung problems. Given that he had already lost part of a lung, any respiratory illness was dangerous for him. He remained in the hospital for several days. Only a few months later, In June 2023, he had to go through another operation, this time for a hernia. The hernia had been causing him ongoing pain, and doctors decided that surgery was the best option. The procedure took place at Rome's Gemelli Hospital, the same hospital where he had been treated before. While the surgery was considered routine, it was still risky due to his age and other health issues. He had to remain in the hospital for a while before he was well enough to return to work. Although the operation was successful, it added to the growing list of medical problems he had faced in recent years. His health raised questions about whether he would consider stepping down, similar to what Pope Benedict XVI had done before him. However, Pope Francis made it clear in the past that he had no plans to resign just because of his mobility issues. But what are his current health conditions, considering the history of his health? Let's find out. Pope's current health crisis. The recent health challenges faced by Pope Francis.
Pope Francis has expressed his sincere gratitude towards the doctors and healthcare workers.
Have raised concerns within the Catholic community and even beyond. His health has been fragile for some time, but recent events have made people more worried about his ability to continue leading the Church. In February 2025, he was taken to Rome's Gemelli Hospital after struggling to breathe. However, what doctors discovered upon his arrival was truly shocking. You're probably wondering what the Pope was diagnosed with. It will definitely leave you speechless. Doctors found that he had double pneumonia, which is especially dangerous for someone his age. Many hoped that with good medical care, he would soon get better. At the hospital, he was given strong respiratory support to help him breathe. During the day, he was put on high-flow oxygen therapy to ease the pressure on his lungs. But at night, he needed even more help. It was reported that doctors used non-invasive mechanical ventilation to keep his oxygen levels steady while he slept. It marked the second time mechanical intervention has been used, with Francis spending 2 days using a ventilator following a separate breathing crisis. According to the Vatican, Pope Francis later switched back to high-flow oxygen therapy. Due to his health, the pontiff has been unable to deliver the traditional Angelus prayer in person on the last 3 Sundays. He is also set to miss the start of Lent, a major Catholic religious 6-week observance leading to Easter, typically marked by a procession and Mass. His hospital stay is the longest in his 12-year papacy. The Pope was first treated for bronchitis before he was diagnosed with double pneumonia. His medical team wanted to avoid using more aggressive methods, like putting him on a ventilator, because that would mean his condition had become much worse. Still, despite the difficulty, everything is said to be under control. Even with these efforts, his health recently took a bad turn. He had 2 sudden episodes of respiratory failure, which could have been deadly if doctors had not acted quickly. The first attack happened early in the morning, setting off alarms in the hospital. But just a few hours later, he had another attack, which made things even more concerning. These episodes showed that his lungs were struggling to heal. Vatican officials began discussing what might happen if his health continued to decline. Many people started fearing that the Pope's condition was worse than they had first thought. At the same time, another problem appeared. Reports showed that Pope Francis's kidneys were starting to fail. Even though doctors said it was still in the early stages, it was another sign that his body was under great stress. He is said to be suffering from initial mild kidney failure, in addition to the serious respiratory illness that has left him in a critical condition. The blood test conducted indicates the early stages of kidney failure, but also showed that Francis's anemia had improved. His medical team kept a close eye on his kidneys to make sure the problem did not get worse. So far, he has not needed dialysis or other strong treatments, but the situation remains delicate. Pope Francis's health has made many people inside the Vatican even more concerned about what might happen next. However, right now, the Vatican says that Pope Francis is stable. and under close watch. As of March 6, 2025, he is still in the hospital, where doctors are carefully managing his condition. He has been awake and able to talk, and he has remained in good spirits. But there is no clear answer about when he will be well enough to leave the hospital. Many Catholics are feeling uncertain about what will happen if his health does not improve. His team is staying hopeful, but they are also preparing for the possibility that his condition might worsen. With the world watching closely, the coming days will be very important in deciding both his future and the future leadership of the Catholic Church. Yet, despite these assurances, many are still wondering what could be causing Pope Francis's deteriorating health. His health has continued to raise concerns. Many are now questioning what the implications of his current condition might be for the Catholic Church and its leadership. Stay tuned as we explore how Pope Francis's health may impact the future of the papacy. Implications of his health conditions. People have started wondering if Pope Francis will step down because of his health. He has said before that if his health stops him from doing his job, he would think about resigning. This reminds many of Pope Benedict, who stepped down in 2013 for similar reasons. While Pope Francis has not made any official decision, his words have made people believe that the Vatican might be preparing for a new leader. But even with all this talk, Pope Francis is still working. However, his health problems have made it harder for him to carry out his duties. Because of this, he has started to rely on others to help him with some tasks. He has also handed over certain responsibilities to high-ranking priests so that the church can keep running smoothly. But that's not all. His health has changed how often he appears in public. Before, he traveled frequently and attended many gatherings, but now he has had to cancel or limit his participation in several important events. This has made many Catholics worry about his condition. Seeing him less often makes people wonder how much longer he can continue leading. His presence at these events is important to many, so whenever he misses one, people take it as a sign that his health is getting worse. The Vatican has also had to change plans to make sure he is not overworked, but this only adds to the concern about his ability to continue. Meanwhile, inside the Vatican, his health problems are affecting how the Church is governed. Pope Francis has always been known for being involved in decision-making, but now that is becoming harder for him. Since he cannot always be present, others must step in to help with running the Church. This has changed how things work in the Vatican. While he is still in charge, his dependence on his advisors has raised concerns about how much power he still has. Because of this, talks about his successor have become more serious. Recently, many people have been discussing who could take over if he steps down. Although he has not named anyone, the question of who will lead the Church next has become more urgent. Within the Vatican, people are looking at possible candidates, considering their views, leadership skills, and ability to guide the Church through difficult times. The selection of a new pope is a major event, and with Pope Francis's health in question, many believe the Church must be prepared for a transition sooner rather than later. But who will be the next pope? Let's find out. Who will be successors to Pope Francis? People are talking more about who will lead the Catholic Church after Pope Francis. Among the most talked about names is Cardinal Pietro Parolin. He is known for being a skilled negotiator and has played a key role in the Vatican's dealings with other countries. He became the Vatican Secretary of State in 2013, making him one of the most powerful figures in the Church. Over the years, he has handled many tough discussions, especially with China, about how bishops are chosen. Many believe that if he becomes pope, he will continue Pope Francis's efforts to make the Church more open to the world. His strong ties to the Pope and experience in handling church affairs make him a strong candidate. But some wonder if the next pope will continue Francis's ideas or take the church in a different direction. At the same time, there is someone who may be better. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is another popular choice, especially because he represents the fast-growing Catholic population in Asia. He was born in the Philippines and has a strong connection with the people, both in his home country and beyond. As the leader of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, he has been in charge of missionary work and expanding the church's reach. Many still remember his time as the Archbishop of Manila, where he was often seen talking to ordinary people and helping the poor. He shares Pope Francis's vision of a church that is kind and understanding, rather than strict and distant. However, some say he might not be chosen, because he is younger than many other candidates, and the Church has historically picked European popes. But if he is elected, he would make history by being the first Asian pope in modern times, showing that the Church is ready to embrace all parts of the world. Meanwhile, Cardinal Matteo Zuppi has also been getting a lot of attention. He is known as a progressive leader who focuses on social issues and making the Church more welcoming. As the head of the Italian Episcopal Conference, he has worked on bringing people together and making the Church more involved in solving world problems. His background in the Sant'Egidio community, a group known for helping the poor and working for peace, has shaped his way of thinking. People still talk about how he played a key role in bringing peace to Mozambique after years of war. During Pope Francis's leadership, Zuppi's influence has grown, especially in uniting different groups within the Church. Some see him as someone who can bridge the gap between traditionalists and reformers, but because he is seen as too progressive, some cardinals might think he is not the right choice. If he becomes pope, he could continue pushing for changes while keeping the Church's main teachings strong. Likewise, Cardinal Peter Turkson is another strong candidate. He could make history by becoming the first African pope. Born in Ghana, he has been a key voice in the Church on issues like poverty, climate change, and fair economic policies. While leading the dicastery for promoting integral human development, he spoke out about the need to protect the environment and ensure that economies work for all people, not just the rich. Many still remember his powerful speeches about the need to focus on human dignity rather than profit. His deep knowledge of theology and his leadership in different Vatican roles make him a strong option. However, some believe that even though Africa has a growing Catholic population, it might still be difficult for an African pope to be elected. Despite this, his vision matches many of Pope Francis's ideas, and he could bring a fresh global view to the Church. If chosen, it would be a major moment, showing that the Church truly recognizes its growing numbers outside of Europe. And so, as the decision gets closer, the cardinals face a big moment in choosing who will lead the Catholic Church. Each of these candidates brings different strengths, and their leadership would shape the future of the Church in different ways. Will the next pope continue Pope Francis's push for an open and welcoming Church, or will there be a shift back to more traditional ways? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.